Welcome to today's presentation, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be tackling the somewhat uncomfortable subject of physician burnout and how slight changes in your daily administrative workflow can counteract some of the stressors that cause it. So just a quick disclaimer. Updox and Amazing Charts, I'm sure, in no way believe that implementing technology solutions in your practice can cure the severity of physician burnout. Our claim is simply that implementing the right solutions might act as a preventative measure for independent physicians who suffer from it. So let's go over just a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. First, what is burnout? I'm sure a lot of you already know what that is. I've got a kind of a different definition for you. Who does it affect? The top causes of burnout, how to alleviate some of the stressors that cause burnout. What is Updox? I'm sure a lot of you know or might have an idea of who we are, and how we can help. So what exactly is burnout? Dr. Raj S. Pruthi defines burnout as burnout in medicine is a national and complex and systematic issue whose effects go far beyond physicians themselves, impacting our patients and even having far-reaching societal implications. Sadly, across the world, he believes that physician burnout is becoming the norm within your career path. So burnout is becoming more and more common among physicians and residents all over the world. The expectations of an independent physician specifically are definitely not subsiding, so the consequences for your overall mental and physical and family health are pretty costly. So who does burnout affect exactly? Recent studies within the past 5 years have shown a rapid trend of growth in physicians or independent physicians claiming to have experienced or know someone who have experienced burnout. In 2013, it was 40% of this sample group of 14,000. In 2015, it was over 46%. And in 2017, last year alone, it was over 51% of 14,000 participants reported burnout. That's a huge jump, and it doesn't seem to be shrinking. So what seems to be the biggest issue, at least for the independent physicians in your practices? Individuals like yourselves go into this field to help people, to help sick people. So what is it about your daily grind that results in so many in your field to feel affected in such a negative way? The top causes studies have shown are long and demanding hours. No doubt you're constantly seeing patients and kind of adjusting your schedule accordingly to make sure all of your patients are taken care of and at least getting everything done. Secondly, pressure from patients and colleagues. If you've ever had maybe a patient come in late or a patient go over a scheduled appointment to discuss unrelated symptoms than what they initially booked the appointment for, that can cause stress and more pressure from your colleagues to keep on a manageable schedule. And it also creates a little bit of pressure from the patients outside of that appointment because it attributes to their lateness and overall delay in their scheduled appointment as well. Employer issues. Many independent practices that we've worked with and talked to recently have been purchased or in the process of being purchased or taken over by larger health systems. So this means each practice, whether they're merging with another practice or being bought out, now must meet the standards and requirements of those new employers, just resulting in more stress on a day-to-day basis. The fourth is work overload. Obviously, this is self-explanatory. I don't need to go over this with you guys. You understand that completely. But you're taking on new patients, new personalities, new staff, new bureaucratic requirements, all demanding you to stay informed, cover down, and hope that you're doing your job to the fullest ability. And then last but not least, obviously one that we can help with is excessive administrative challenges. Manual process, calls, staff time wasted, piles of paper, all contribute to physical and also mental clutter, creating that stress that causes burnout. Some external stressors are new government regulations. So MACRA and MIPS, I'm sure if you haven't already gone over the 90-day reporting time, I'm sure you guys have heard or at least been going into more in-depth research on what macro and MIPS is requiring of you for reporting for next year. So that adds a lot of stress on you. The bureaucratic burdens of providing healthcare, your electronic health records also can cause some stress. So as long as we're trying to provide you guys with the right tools, we hope that we can alleviate some of those things. So these problems right here, the top 5, are pretty obvious, but others might not be as apparent to you and your staff, and the change needed might not always jump right out at you. Obviously, independent physicians have a ton going on. You and your staff are always doing a lot to try to get everything done in the allotted time of your day. You don't work the regular 9-to-5 schedule that others get the chance to work. You guys are working off the clock as well. So how can we help you alleviate some of these burdens before the stress takes an even more serious toll on you and your business? First of all, acknowledging that there's a problem or that there's something going on can actually help alleviate some of that stress by getting at the forefront of it and trying to affect change immediately. Second, you can take a break. I know that a lot of you are workaholics. A lot of you don't want to step out of the office, don't want to take time away from your busy schedule, but a lot of times that's exactly what you need, whether that be a walk around your office, whether that be a full hour for lunch. You definitely need that time to kind of decompress. I know your brain never stops going, but at least stepping out of it might alleviate some of the stress. Third, you need to rest. Getting a full 8 hours of sleep, I know you've probably told many patients that, but rest, drink water, have a solid lunch, like I said, that may contribute to some positive energy coming back into your day. And lastly, making specific changes where they're needed. This could be subtle changes in your office, like alternating hours during the week or weekends, applying methods of change all around your practice where there may be blockage or stress added, can definitely help stop burnout. So Dr. Christine Sinsky, she is the Vice President of Satisfaction at AMA, was featured in a recent Modern Medicine article saying that she's begun implementing specific workflow changes that now help put 3 to 5 more daily hours back into patient care. So this is where old Updox with amazing charts comes into your play. So Updox Universal Inbox, if you don't already know, isn't the only answer to fight burnout, but implementing the strategic source of solutions that Updox provides can ease up the stressors causing a portion of stress related to burnout. So Updox Universal Inbox can help with specific features integrated with amazing charts, such as supporting with the communication back and forth required with your new reporting standards, so macro and MIPS, coordinating the care teams, we can definitely help with that. We help enable practice staff to take control of the daily administrative tasks, bogging down physicians day to day. We help you create a pre-visit strategy to enhance patient experience and engagement. And we eliminate the staff and provider time spent on that redundant work from manual process with solutions like electronic fax and document management, automated appointment reminders, on-demand blast messaging, patient notifications, and our premium patient portal. So if you're not already aware of who Updox is, we tried to differentiate ourselves across all of our solutions. We are a platform built by physicians for physicians. We were actually started about 8 years ago when an in-home health independent physician actually just kind of got frustrated with the lack of technology you guys are provided. So he teamed up with a group of people that started working on Updox, and here we are. And Amazing Charts was one of our first integrations. So we have a very deep-rooted partnership and integration to your EMR. But we have over 56,000 providers using right now and 300,000 users other than the providers, so their staff, and always growing. We have over 100 EMR integrations, and that covers about 72 million patients over the US. So Updox truly is your single source for patient and provider communication. So one big way Updox differentiates ourselves across all of your solutions is that we haven't stayed surface level. We're not trying to just give you a quick fix to take away some of that stress. We've carefully selected the areas of pain to target. We've evaluated the current options offered to independent practices, and we've built solutions that deliver more value than our competitors with a tight integration to amazing charts. So the universal inbox right here is where we centralize these messages, your internal messages as well as your external messages going out to patients and colleagues. You can find faxes, direct secure emails, appointment cancellations, portal messages, and in-office messages all right here. And it's accessible anywhere with an internet connection. So we're going to step through just a couple of the solutions that actually roll up into our universal inbox. The first solution that we came up with for physicians was our electronic fax and document management. So we've learned that the manual process isn't just super expensive and time consuming. It can be really frustrating, especially for your staff. So we've carefully researched the workflows that you guys have in place to build a tool that doesn't just put a Band-Aid on the paper problem, but we actually try to solve it. So keeping your workflow simple, whether you're connecting with patients, staff members, or referring physicians and specialists, can really have a positive impact on your day. Specifically, we have the tools within our document management to easily review, split, and combine pages. Annotation is normally always required with any documents coming into an independent practice. So we have a dynamic editor that allows you to sign and date and timestamp and do a whole bunch of things, which I'm going to get to in just a second. We also have PDF and TIFF options, which allow you to drag and drop anything from your desktop directly into the Updox inbox. And we have simultaneous action functionality, so you can fax out as well as send to the chart or send a portal message all at the same time with no conflict with incoming messages. We can also, obviously, we are web-based, so there's no hardware or software or IT support required for you and your staff. So the ease of our workflow is probably the biggest selling point of Updox, which is just a couple steps. You log into your Updox account. You review your fax. You can break apart the pages if you'd like. You can omit cover sheets when sending out or sending to the chart. You can edit and sign it as needed. And then you send. So you have actually 3 options. You can send to the portal, you can send to the chart, or you can send out as a fax, or all of the above. So super simple workflow for you and your staff, and we offer free training so everybody will have the option to learn. So this is that drag and drop feature. You can see my desktop's pretty messy when I did this. But you literally just drag and drop it directly into the inbox, and then you can edit from there. So if you have specific forms that you're constantly sending out or you and your staff are constantly working on, you can just plop those right in there, edit as needed, and send out accordingly. And the key functionality with our editor, we have a pretty robust editor actually. A lot of faxing services I've seen don't have near these options. So you actually have the option to annotate, put numerical values on there. You can freehand draw, so if you need to make somebody look at something specific, you can highlight, redact information if you don't want them to see a specific part of the form. We have the one-click signatures for the physicians and providers in your office, and then time and date stamp. This is just a quick video to show you just how user-friendly it is. My boss actually had me kind of just mess around with it for a second and record myself, so this is one of the first times I ever used our editor. So if you want to see how easy it is to use, pretty intuitive. So not only is the document management and fax workflow really going to save you time and money, it really takes away a lot of that stress related to burnout. So for every 5,000 pages, a practice spends about $155 in supplies. That is a lot on your plate, and 55 hours in the day, or in the week, I'm sorry. So contributing to that $155 in supplies, we've kind of worked it out. It's about $72 for the toner that goes along with your Brother fax machine. $50 for every case of paper you're using, $20 to $40 for an independent fax line, and then 55 hours of staff time. So if it takes just 2 minutes per fax, the considerations include walking to and from the fax machine, and depending on the size of your practice, that might be a little bit of a longer walk for others. You then have to manually fax. You have to print or file the transmission reports. You have to scan it back into the chart. And then you have to locate or duplicate that work to find or fax out later. Updox also provides a really awesome audit trail. So all of those things you're sending and receiving, there is a trail behind you to see exactly when they were sent, what user sent them out. So you're never missing anything. If you need to know that something was sent out, there's always that trail to find it. The next solution we're going to go over is our automated appointment reminders. So studies say that implementing an automated reminders tool can reduce or even eliminate the no-shows that are costly at your practice. They can also help you engage your patients in a way they prefer. We have completely customizable reminders, so you're able to pick by patient preferences and send out accordingly. We also free up your staff time as well with easy setup and implementation. So during your training is when you set up your reminders, and then they just kind of flow from there, integrated with your calendar. So again, they're fully customizable. You're actually able to pick the preferences you'd like, or you can read the preferences based on your calendar or your patient data. You can choose between a portal reminder, an email reminder. So Amazing Charts has it kind of a unique situation. With the deep integration we have with your portal, we're actually able to do a lot of the things that we don't normally do for our partners with your portal integration. So it's really awesome. You can have things and your patients notified directly from the portal if you'd like, or we can do the email, telephone, or text message options as well. We also have default scripts you can choose from dependent on appointment type. You can use human voice if you'd like for your reminders to go out, and they're all previewable. So you can see what kind of text message, what it's going to look like going to your patient, and then you can also call yourself if you're doing those human voice calls. You'd like to hear what that's going to sound like to your patients when they get those. You can definitely preview those as well. We also have other features with our reminders. You have the option to send reminders even after the confirmation is received. Just because they confirmed doesn't mean they'll actually show up to the appointment. So this definitely alleviates a lot of stress and staff time taken up. You can disable weekend reminders, and you can allow patients to cancel either from the reminder or force them to call into the practice. And those preferences are just based on what you guys are feeling and the workflow you use. And they can set that up for you during training. We also have the audit trail. So the reminders dashboard allows you to see exactly when your reminder was sent out, what method it was sent out for, and the providers are obviously listed there, who it was sent to, and whether or not it was delivered, answered, or confirmed. And these also, if you happen to have a cancellation, pop right back up in your in the top of your Updox inbox. So you don't necessarily have to come back to your dashboard every day. This is just a good way to track those things. So if you wanted to see if there's a certain trend with specific demographics that you're constantly having appointments for, you can look that data up here, print it out, and figure that out. So obviously, we save you a ton of time, no more staff time on the phone or chasing down patients. Those are automated, so those are automatically going out. But with, I think it's an average of 100 appointments that every practice has weekly, we save you up to 7 no-shows. So that is a huge ROI savings right there. The next solution we're going to go through is Blast. So this is our relationship management tool used for patient notifications. So with this tool, you can engage your patients, again, in a method that they prefer. Just like our reminders, you can use the text, email, portal message, or phone call. You can target specific patient segments. So you're not just sending out to everybody in your calendar. If you wanted to do, our biggest use case obviously is happy birthdays. You could section out just your patient database with birthdays in May and send out a monthly message that way. Or if you live on the East Coast like Adam and I, you know the weather is kind of crazy. If you happen to have your practice closed down for some reason and you need to let not only your patients know for the day, but also your staff and other colleagues that you may be working with closely, you can pull anyone from your address book and let them know that you're closed for the day. This also allows you to have really good educational information going out to your patients as well and keep them up to date on different offerings you have. Not only does it help with your patients, but we also have an awesome referral program. So we have a refer and share program, but you're able to nurture those referral relationships with this blast tool. So as long as you're proactively adding your specialists or different referral colleagues right into your address book, as long as they live there, you can send them out messages. Just helping you stay front of mind in their minds with regular reminders or thank you emails to them for sending over different patients. You can also message potential new referral sources, letting them know about either a new location you're opening up, or different services that you may be offering at the time. So these small messages really allow you to remain front of mind and visible to those other providers and their staff. And just like our reminders in faxing, the audit trail is always there. So there's the dashboard where you can report on all of the messages you've sent out. You can see who it was sent to, the method, their information, when it was sent, and whether or not it was delivered. So if you wanted to notify everybody that you were closing for the day and you wanted to make sure everybody got it, you can always come here, see who might not have gotten your information, and if they didn't, it's going to save you a lot of time. Rather than calling all of these folks, you might just have to call the 3 who may not have received your message. So on-demand messaging, it really sounds nice. It saves you a lot of time off the phone and the back and forth with patients as well as staff, but it's got a real revenue impact as well. So the last solution we're going to go over is the premium patient portal. I know a lot of you are probably familiar with the basic portal that you've probably had for some years now, but the premium patient portal for Amazing Charts comes when you sign up for our Updox and I think Updox Connect account. So that offers the eFax direct messaging as well as the premium patient portal. With that, you're able to do online scheduling, new patient registration, and demographic updates. So you stay constantly updated on all of your patient database with your portal. So on average, I think it takes about 3 touches, they say, to schedule an appointment with a patient. That's 3 times the work put into scheduling all of your patients. Multiply that by your patient database, and that adds up pretty quickly. The Updox inbox comes with certain upgrades to your existing portal, like I mentioned, that can really help simplify your daily workflow for you and your staff. And here's just a quick video to show you how easy it is for your patients to come on the portal for online scheduling. Simply click Appointments and find the appointment that you have free, reading directly from your calendar. Super simple, and it saves you a lot of time playing phone tag, and it gives you more time to focus on the important things in your practice, like the overall wellness of your patients, as well as yourself and your staff. New features are actually coming to Updox. So if you aren't familiar with Updox, this is new to not only you, but all of the Amazing Charts users. If you are using Updox, you may have noticed the new functionality in your compose screens. We are offering the SMS Quick Send now, where it's kind of a one-off message where you can send directly to a patient if you needed to get them a quick note, or another provider, just a quick way to have them get back to you and you get out to all your patients. So have you ever needed to send a quick message on the fly that you don't need to build a list for, that you don't want to run through your reminders solution? This is that option. So just to go back to the ROI, we kind of touched on how the ROI comes from each solution, but what we've seen as those providers and independent practices using Updox for the full suite of solutions really have the most cost savings, up to $28,500 annually, and that is a lot of money put back in your practice, a lot of stress taken away from your day-to-day worries, and it's just alleviating a lot of time spent on that manual process. So how exactly can you get started with us? We do offer a 15-day free trial. No hardware again, no contract. It is a month-to-month subscription. So you could do our trial, see if that benefit really is there for you and your practice, and then cancel if you'd like or stay on for month to month. We do offer free training and free support as well. So you and all of your staff have access to learning how to use Updox as best as possible. And then we do have a limited time offer. With promo code SHOWERS, you get 50% off for 1 month. So that means if you get registered before April 15th, you can have access to this promo code. Thank you again. I will give it back to you, Adam.